How Bernie Madoff stole $65 billion. Sometimes, when a lot of money gets stolen, we can't help but root for those who took it. We might look at a recent heist that must be the closest thing to a real-life Ocean's 11, when a bunch of old men, the old blaggers, stole millions of dollars worth of precious stones from a vault in London in 2015. It's thought most of the men were arrested, but much of the bounty remains at large. This is regarded as one of the biggest heists in history. But today, we're not here to celebrate thieves. We're here to delve into the intriguing world of financial scams and the man who pulled off the largest financial scam in history. Welcome to this episode of the Infographics Show, the man who stole $65 billion. Segment 1. The Bernie Madoff Scandal. Before we talk about how this $65 billion was stolen, let's learn something about the man who took it. His name is Bernie Madoff. Unfortunately for him, he is still alive at the ripe old age of 80. Madoff's roots are European, with his parents having Polish, Austrian, and Romanian heritage. Madoff was first investigated in 1992, but it wasn't until the 2000s that subsequent investigations by private firms found what they called inconsistencies that looked like fraud. Investigator Harry Markopoulos had been telling people something just didn't add up. He wasn't the only one, and many people refused to do business with Madoff. Segment 2. Ponzi Schemes Explained. But how did Madoff get hold of people's money? What he had is called a Ponzi scheme. Simply put, it's a scheme that offers huge returns on investments. It was named after Charles Ponzi, who promised huge returns in just 90 days. They pay off these first few people, and word gets around that there is a huge return, enticing even more people. You might be wondering how a Ponzi scheme works. Well, you keep taking new money and pay off older investors with that cash while expanding. The problem is, you aren't actually making any money. Madoff's scheme was one of the largest in history. Segment 3. Notable heists in history. Speaking of massive thefts, let's not forget that Bernie Madoff's heist, though on paper, was much larger than any traditional heist. Still, history is filled with some of the most notorious heists, including the old blaggers' jewel heist in London, where a group of elderly men managed to steal millions of dollars worth of precious stones. Segment 4. Financial Scams versus Heists. Now, let's take a moment to explore the differences between financial scams like Bernie Madoff's and traditional physical heists. These two types of crimes couldn't be more different, both legally and ethically. In a physical heist, criminals physically steal assets or valuables, often through unlawful entry or force. This type of crime is usually seen as a clear violation of the law, with the culprit subject to arrest and prosecution. On the other hand, financial scams involve deception, manipulation, and fraud to obtain money or assets. While they may not involve physical force, they can inflict severe financial harm on victims. The legal consequences for those orchestrating scams like Madoff's can be just as severe, but they tend to focus more on financial penalties and imprisonment. Segment 5. The role of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. It's crucial to examine the role of regulatory bodies like the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, in preventing and detecting financial frauds and scams. The SEC plays a vital role in monitoring the financial industry, ensuring transparency and protecting investors. Unfortunately, in the case of Bernie Madoff, the SEC failed to detect his fraudulent activities for years, despite numerous red flags. This scandal shed light on the need for stronger regulatory oversight and enforcement in the financial sector. Segment 6. Victims of the Madoff Scandal. Now, let's turn our attention to the real human cost of the Madoff scandal. Thousands of individuals and organizations lost their life savings and investments due to Madoff's deception. Their stories are heart-wrenching, and the impact on their lives was devastating. Many victims faced financial ruin, loss of homes, and shattered retirement plans. Some had to rely on government assistance to make ends meet. The Madoff scandal serves as a stark reminder of the importance of due diligence when investing and the need for effective regulation to protect investors. Segment 7. The consequences of Madoff's actions. Now, let's delve into the severe consequences that befell Bernie Madoff as a result of his fraudulent actions. In 2008, Madoff's world came crashing down when he was arrested for his role in orchestrating the largest Ponzi scheme in history. Madoff was subsequently convicted on multiple counts, including securities fraud, investment advisor fraud, and money laundering. In 2009, he was sentenced to a staggering 150 years in prison, effectively a life sentence. His imprisonment served as a sobering reminder that financial crimes carry heavy penalties, including significant jail time. Madoff's actions not only harmed countless investors, but also sealed his own fate as a convicted felon. Segment 8. Lessons from the Madoff Scandal. The Madoff scandal left a lasting impact on both investors and the financial industry. One of the most crucial lessons learned was the importance of due diligence. Investors realized the need to scrutinize their investments more closely and verify the legitimacy of financial products and services. Financial institutions and regulatory bodies also reevaluated their practices to enhance fraud detection and prevention. The Madoff scandal prompted increased transparency, stricter regulations, and improved oversight to protect investors from similar schemes. Segment 9. The Swiss Miss Prison Market. In an unexpected turn of events, Bernie Madoff's time in prison brought forth a rather amusing story. Reports emerged that he had cornered the hot chocolate market within the prison walls, using his trading skills to exploit the demand for Swiss Miss Hot Chocolate packets. This anecdote highlights the psychology of trading and market behavior, even in unconventional settings. It seems that Madoff's knack for financial maneuvering persisted, albeit in a significantly different context. As we conclude our exploration of Bernie Madoff's $65 billion Ponzi scheme, we must recognize the profound impact it had on individuals, the financial industry, and even the hot chocolate market. Madoff's actions serve as a stark reminder of the importance of ethical financial practices and diligent oversight. Share your thoughts on the Madoff scandal, lessons learned, or any experiences related to financial fraud in the comments below. Be sure to explore our other videos, and thank you for watching. Until next time.